Hi, Kim. How are you?
I am very excited today, Kath. I can't believe this is episode 1 of the show.
Can you
How are you
believe it?
doing?
Really good. Really good. I know you haven't really seen too many of the briefs, and I have seen them, and oh my goodness, we're in for a treat. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I've only seen today's now, just getting ready for the show, and just the inspiration and ideas really excites me. So I'm so excited about this initiative.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Shall we get into it?
Yeah. All right, folks. So the show is basically a learning design competition for learning designers of all skill levels, where they take on client briefs that we've come up with, just to come up with something creative and try and solve that problem for the client. And basically, the industry will vote for them and say who they think is the best learning designer of 2020. The prize includes that title, but also tickets to the learning conference, where we have a suite of exceptional practitioners basically going to teach amazing skills, such as your session, Kath, where you are going to teach people to build an app using a Google Sheet, which is
That's
crazy.
right.
So I'm looking forward to that session myself. So let's get into the show.
Okay, fantastic. Let's rock and roll.
All right, today's special guest is Hannah Grennan from Belle Vista Studios. Belle Vista Studios is obviously where I work, but Hannah is a very good friend and colleague, and she inspires me because she's just an awesome learning designer and really cares about helping her end user get the right solution for them. And she's a big advocate for human-centered design. So Hannah Grennan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Kath and Kim. This conference, I'm just so excited for it. And the show, it's just amazing. I think it's going to add so much value to the industry. And I'm just honored to be here today to look at what people have come up with. So thank you so much for having me.
It's our
pleasure.
pleasure. Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the brief. So you're not aware of the brief, and the audience may not be either. So basically, participants that are part of the show received an email from an L&D manager at Liberty City. It's a local government, and she was looking for a simple learning tool for the public to learn more about COVID-19. Now, the brief outlined that she needed it appropriate for all ages. It needed to be easy to update. And the 3 words that she wanted to describe the solution were vibrant, minimal, and conversational. So the client wanted a mock-up from participants because she's never worked with them before. So she wanted to see what their skills were like. And she has a budget of $25,000. The criteria that we were looking for, this client is looking for in the submissions of this brief, is that it should be: what tool are you going to build it in? Why do you think that solution is the best option? And how can it be future-proof? Because COVID-19 is changing so rapidly, so the client really needs to be able to keep up with those updates. Now, our intent with this brief was to make it fun and flexible and creative and achievable for all levels of learning designers that were going to participate today. And basically, not all rounds are going to be as free as this one. So watch out for those of you that don't get knocked out in this round. All right, Kath, take us over. Who have we got in round 1 episode?
Okay. So let's kick this off. In our very first pairing, we had Srivatsan, who is a training specialist from InfoNexus, and Andrzej, who is an e-learning developer and is self-employed. Let's learn a little bit about Srivatsan. So Srivatsan says, I'm a curious learning designer who is also a lifelong learner dedicated to easing the annoying hurdles of learning. Now, Srivatsan did not submit anything, unfortunately. So we're going to move on to Andrzej. Andrzej is a creative instructional designer currently living and working in Poland. In my world, Every online course does not have to end with a complicated multiple choice quiz. I strive to create effective and successful learning initiatives. Besides work, I'm a big fan of board games and photography. My best evening scenario is to sit with friends and play Dixit. Do you guys know what Dixit is?
No way. What is it?
Well, I had a look online, and it basically just looks like a bit of an adventure board game, like a typical board game. Yeah, I'm gonna look more into it. I'd love to have a crack at that.
Yeah.
So this is what Andrzej submitted.
All right. So I'll give you guys just a brief lowdown on his submission. So he wants to do a multi-channel marketing campaign. He wants to leverage the communication channels that Liberty City already may have in place, such as their Facebook, their Twitter, and their Instagram, using their internal newsletter and external newsletter, as well as email and print materials. So I think that's pretty cool. He's looking to do some simple, bite-sized educational materials. And his tool that he's recommending is Adobe Spark, which is a cloud-based design platform. It creates various online and offline learning materials. They have pre-made canvas sizes for the platform, and you can make slideshows or video, and it's basically all in one place, which is really cool. And you can store it in the cloud, and it has easy access to the source files to be able to make updates. So guys, in terms of first impressions and the criteria of the tool, and if it's the best solution and how can it be future-proof, what do you guys think about Andrzej's submission?
I think it's great. I think it's very smart. I mean, a marketing campaign certainly makes a lot of sense. It's I played around with Adobe Spark myself. It's a bit like Canva. Have you guys had a go with Adobe Spark?
No, I haven't actually. It's a new tool to my toolkit.
Yeah. So if anyone has, I think it's actually free. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's free. But it does come under the Adobe umbrella. Yeah, and the visuals look great. What do you guys think?
I think it's really good. I love how a multi-channel marketing campaign's being used that's already used as the channels that are already embedded. So using the Facebook and the things that they already use, because I think sometimes when we're designing learning solutions, we can try and recreate things or try and do things in a different way. But I love that he's just done it the way that it already happens. So it's really, it's integrated really smoothly into the way that they already do things. So I absolutely love that. I love the idea of a marketing campaign. I think it's a really good way to get the message out there. I love the look of it. I think it really stands out. As soon as it showed up on the screen, I was like, it's very eye-catching and looks like really good.
For sure.
So yeah, I think it's really great.
Yeah. Another thing is, when we're trying to come up with a learning solution, people get very focused on it being, a scorn-based solution. And I remember Dumb Ways to Die. Do you remember when that came out? Yeah. Now that was probably what started out a conversation about a learning solution that ended up being a marketing solution, and a very, very successful one at that. And I like that they've that this isn't just going down the normal route. It's doing something that is marketing. I think it's great.
What do you think was the success of that Dumb Ways to Die, Kath?
Well, I think the characters were super cute. The song, obviously, was so catchy. I'm pretty sure I could sing a little bit of it now.
Please don't, for the viewers at home.
Well, I'm a good singer. Just very vibrant. I mean, a bit like this, appropriate really for any age group. It's not feminine. It's not masculine. Yeah. It's just perfect. It's great.
Yeah, and I think that's captured really well here in terms of the icons and, the visual use of the style appeals to everyone really. And those visual icons, it's not text heavy. So when you think about rapid stuff going out, you want to be able to see it at a glance. And I think using the icons and minimal text is awesome for a multi-channel marketing campaign. And it's just easy to update this stuff. You're not having to go in and have access to something like some of the harder, clunkier tools that are very time consuming to build something in. I feel like this can really keep up with the pace of a changing daily COVID-19 situation.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, it's awesome. So congratulations, Andre. You're through to the next round. Woo!
Yes, Srivatsan, you have been eliminated, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the next people.
Yay! So we have Dima, who is a lecturer at the Canadian University of Dubai, and Ashanti, who is an e-learning designer and developer at Quality Assist Incorporated. Let's learn a bit about Dima. So she has more than 15 years of teaching at the UAE, teaching experience in the UAE. Dima has a MA in English Literature Research from the University of Leicester and a BA in English Literature and Research from the Applied Science University of Jordan. She is a PhD student in e-research and technology enhanced learning at Lancaster University, and she has been involved in organising and participating in professional development events. So let's have a look at what Dima has submitted.
All right, so Dima has put something together which I'm curious about because I've never heard of AppyPie, and this is the tool that she's suggesting to create an app. Have you guys heard of it?
No,
I've never heard of it.
And this is what I love about the show, is that we're getting access to like different tools that were not on our peripheral before. Now, Dima wants to do a customized and personalized app that basically is going to provide information according to the age of the user. And that really makes sense to, you know, the brief that our Liberty City L&D manager has asked for. Now, what she's shared, it sounds like she's familiar with AppyPie as an app maker, and it has some cool features to consider. So it does things like flashcards. There's a coloring book. I think that's so cool for young people. A quiz. It has push notifications. I think that's excellent for something like this. Obviously, cross-platform support in terms of PC, mobile devices and that. And it also has offline mode, which is essential really for people that may not have internet access or low bandwidth. And it integrates well with social media, and it is useful for real-time updates. So in terms of the criteria, what do you guys think in terms of Dima's submission here with AppyPie App Maker?
I think it's amazing. This one excites me because we love human-centered design, and it's something that I think human-centered design is so valuable to learning solutions in the way that we design things. And I love the fact that Dima has put how old are you at the beginning, because it really customizes it for you as a user. Because I know if I use an app or I undertake a learning experience and it's not relevant to me and it speaks about roles that aren't relevant to me or things that don't make sense for my life, I can immediately not have interest in it.
Yes.
So I just love that element to it, and I think that's amazing. I love the push notifications. I think that's a really good idea because sometimes we can forget about these things, but just having a little reminder like that is so useful, just to see it pop up on your phone or your computer, just to get you interacting with it. I love how easy it's accessed. So the fact that it can be mobile or computer, I think that's really important to be able to have the learning solution work on a number of different devices so it suits everyone. And that's another human-centered design element to me that I think is really great. It's thinking about that end user. And yeah, I think it looks amazing. It definitely stands out. The icons look really good. And that app sounds so great. I haven't heard of it before, but I think it sounds so good. Even with the low internet, the fact that it can work in areas with low internet, I think that's really amazing for this brief as well. So well done, Dima.
Yeah, I like that she's actually given the client as well some different kind of imagery options, you know, so it might be, there's a style on the left and there's a style on the right, or it could even be that the style on the left is for an older age group or the style on the right is for a younger, showing a more playful side. But yeah, I mean, it's simple. We're not getting to see we're not really seeing a mock-up, but at least it gives the client enough of an idea. So yeah, awesome.
I think that's cool. Like in terms of, it's just an idea and it's communicating a little bit about the expectations of what standard quality you could expect in what we can deliver, because a lot of times clients, they aren't able to visualize things the way we are. So even something as simple as this, in terms of just the look and feel, or even doing something like a mood board, is so valuable to communicate the expectations from that client's perspective of what are they going to get at the end? What's it going to look like? And even though where this is currently at, I think that does a great job of that.
Yeah, really good. We'll have a look now at Ashanti. And Ashanti is a learning experience designer based in Atlanta, Georgia. She began her career in L&D as a teacher trainer in 2016. She has a certificate in instructional design and e-learning development from the University of Georgia and is currently works in the e-learning sphere. So let's have a look what Ashanti submitted.
Very cool. All right, Ashanti is suggesting a web app hosted on WordPress, and she wants to develop it in Chrome development tools, which I thought was really interesting. I've never thought about it like that. And already we've had 3 totally different tools suggested for this solution, which is really cool. Now, why she has recommended this is you can access it on all devices, again, with online and offline modes. And what I love that Ashanti has picked up on here is this is a government client, and she's drawn attention to accessibility. Now, we haven't seen that yet in the other submissions, but this is key for us to know as learning designers, that government do require accessibility. So she's drawn that to the attention because the client may not necessarily know that that's actually something that's essential to them, which is demonstrating her understanding of her client's needs and her ability as a learning designer to come up with a great solution. So what she's suggesting with the app that she's going to develop is that you can change the settings for people that may have hearing impairment, language difficulties, or they are illiterate. So considering that accessibility and putting that forward when it wasn't in the brief, I think is a very clever idea to demonstrate Ashanti's credibility. And basically you would update this through the admin panel on WordPress. So let's have a look at the design in terms of UI, and we can see some notifications there. Kath, what are your thoughts on the design of this particular solution?
Yeah, well, you know, I like that it's got a little notification bell down here. I like, we talked about this before, Kim, but we like that it was searchable. So, you know, straight off the bat, if someone needs to know a little bit about symptoms, instead of having to scroll through here, they can get right to the symptoms. I'm going to click over to the next page because she's also got some more mock-ups here for us to see. But yeah, just very simple. As far as the structure, you can see the accessibility functionality here. And the using the news to send through. See, she's indicating there that there's a new news notification.
Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Hannah?
I think it's great. I've been thinking, I love how the app reflects the apps that we use generally. Yes. So to me, it looks very similar to Instagram, the interface. So I feel like for users, it would be really easy to pick up. It's very easy, recognizable interface. And I think that is really important when you're designing, to think about, is this going to reflect the world of the people who are using it? And are they going to understand it? So I absolutely love that about it. I think that's amazing. I love, like what you said, the accessibility. That's so good that that's been considered in the solution, because it is so important. And especially because the brief is for coronavirus, which impacts so many different people. I think it's important that accessibility is incorporated. And that's just amazing that it wasn't part of the brief, but it's been included in this solution. So I think that's a really big tick for me. That's really, really impressive. And I love as well that it can be easily updated. So because coronavirus is something that will change over time, I love that it's easy for the admin person or the person who's designed the solution to make updates. So I think it's really, really great, and it really aligns with the coronavirus brief. So awesome job.
It's definitely vibrant, minimal, and there's not much text there. So I'm going to assume that it's conversational. So nice work, Ashanti.
Awesome. All right, let's move on to our next pair. So we have Emily Wood, who is Managing Director of Serenity Learning, and Ghislaine Guerin, I hope I've said your name right, Ghislaine, who's a Process Director and Facilitator and is self-employed. So let's learn a little bit more about Emily. With over 14 years of experience in training and instructional design, Emily has executed in-person and online training programs for the federal government, non-profits, and the corporate sector. She's led software training, soft skills training, and compliance projects, and holds a Master of Science degree in Instructional Science and Technology. So let's have a look at what Emily has submitted.
All right. Emily is recommending Articulate Rise as the tool that she wants to develop for this L&D manager at Liberty City. She said that it is a great tool, and I say for the same reasons as Emily, that it's simple to update. Most people can figure it out. If you have a login, it's not like you need to go and do hectic training to figure out how to develop or make updates. So from sustainability, that is quite good. It's web hosted, which means especially when people are working from home or remote at the moment, you don't have to have those source files on you. They are accessible anywhere with internet access. And of course, Rise is a responsive tool, not just adaptive. And it will also work with limited bandwidth when people may not have access to that. So one thing that Emily is saying here is that she'd love to do a branching scenario style, which is what we're seeing in her example. And one of the things that I think is really cool is that her questions are questions that people would have in their head. So how do I prevent myself from? I think I have X symptoms. What should I do? So it's the choices are not just, they're action-based choices. And I think that's really well done by Emily. And what she wants to focus on as well is, she's put emphasis on 4th grade reading level. This is something that we're always kind of told as instructional designers to get down to that basic language. And I think governments can tend to go out and get very legislative, and it's hard to decipher what they're actually telling you to do. So bringing that to the attention of, look, it's for all ages, and we're just going to write it for human beings that a 4th grader could understand. I think that's really brought out well. And then she wants the avatar as kind of like a coach. So you're not just interacting with some sort of technology. It's like you're talking to this person that may be your health advisor. So Hannah, what are your impressions of this submission?
I love the fact that it's action focused. So I think it's so cool that she's thought about what are going to be the situations that people will be in the real world when it comes to the brief, the coronavirus. And I love that it's just reflects that real world and helps them see exactly what they need to do. I think that's so important for learning solutions, for people to know exactly what they need to do to be successful. And I just love how that's done through this solution. It's a really great reflection of the real world. I love Articulate Rise, the scenario branching component. I think it is really useful to use. And I know we've used it before and had success with it. So I really like the idea of using that. And yeah, I think it looks really, really good. Job well done.
Awesome job there, Emily. Yeah, again, we've got a very different solution, haven't we? We've got a different way of doing things. And certainly as we go through all of these briefs, we're going to see, how people are thinking outside the box in a way to deliver this information. I mean, certainly for anyone, I believe that you can go into Rise and update it so quickly. And this little branching, I mean, I remember when I think it was Branch Track. Was it Branch Track? There used to be a separate program that you could do. And now obviously they've integrated it in with Articulate Rise. So you could, anyway. I think that this is, good.
Cool. Let's see, Ghislaine.
Right. Let's move on. Just bear with me one moment. All right, so we've got Ghislaine. Her bio is quite long, so I'll just maybe read a little bit from the top. She's a lifelong learner, process designer, and facilitator with a unique perspective on remote collaboration. She has worked remotely since day one. Her experience working as part of a multidisciplinary team for 10 years helped her to push the boundaries of inclusivity in the design process. She's trained in design thinking and has almost 5 years of experience applying creative ideas generation methods to multiple problems across industries. So let's have a look what Ghislaine submitted through.
All right, so this solution is basically, she talks about gesture or gesture. I get told I pronounce that wrong all the time. Have you guys heard about this in learning before?
No,
definitely not.
No, neither. And I'm very curious about it. So she wants to put emphasis on things like preventing burnout and stress, right? And I think this is something very relatable in terms of the remote work or working from home that's happening where, you know, families are at home together. So she wants to create a toolbox that can be used remotely by educators and parents and their children using things around the house. And some of the stuff that she talks about in terms of this gesture stuff is healing through action and using imagination. And it's also the dialogue that happens between a child and a parent or an educator doing these activities that she has together. So I just want to read a little part of her submission, which is around, by the connections with our bodies and using gestures, we can shape the narrative around social distancing and create possibilities for inclusion of groups that transcend the realities of the lockdown, which is a very curious approach to me. Has anyone got any thoughts on this submission?
To me, it's like, it's really deep and meaningful. It sounds like it really gets to the core of the problem, which I love. And I also love how it takes into account using your surroundings. So I love that it's giving people tools that they can use in their environment. And it sounds really interactive as well. I think a really important part of learning and something that can help us with learning is through interacting and actually practicing things and doing things. And by the sounds of it, it sounds like it involves some of that. So I think that's really cool. But this is really different for me. I haven't heard of gesture for learning before. So
yeah,
a new thing for me. But yeah, it's amazing. It's cool to see it and learn something new. So nice work.
Yeah, I'd love to see more and see it kind of in action, you know. I've not heard of this before, but what a wonderful way of coming up with this solution. It's great.
Yeah, thinking differently. I'll definitely be having a Google myself afterwards to add something like this to my own toolkit.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Ghislaine. All right. Okay, so our last participants, Christophe and William. Christophe is an instructional designer who is freelance from France. That's a lot of F's.
Christophe.
And we have William, who's a graphic designer, and he's a freelancer. Christophe is an instructional designer and Adobe Captivate specialist, and he didn't submit anything, unfortunately. And William is a designer, writer who loves to illustrate and has been working with graphic arts and digital and print media since he was in high school. And he did not submit anything either, unfortunately, ladies.
Aww,
what a shame. I was excited to see those.
I know.
I'm really interested in learning about graphic design, and it sounds like he was quite passionate if it started in high school.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What a shame.
What were your key takeaways from the submissions that we've seen today? Things that you really liked that you hadn't seen before? What do you think, Hannah?
I think this is amazing, what's happening right now, and the fact that everyone watching is getting this value, because it's just so cool to see the different things that people have made and the different tools that have been used. There were so many tools that were brought up that I haven't even heard of before. And to think that, like, seeing the benefits of each of those tools and to know that it's something that we could try out or I could try out through the projects that I create, I'm really excited and I want to research more. So that's amazing. I think they all looked really great. The visuals were really eye-catching, and each one I wanted to know more and look more into it. I think it was just a job really well done. I think also as well, what everyone did really well was thinking about how it's for a bigger audience. So taking into consideration that it needs to work for people of different ages and different groups of people. And I think everyone did really well at considering that and designing a solution that will work for a wide range of people, which is human-centered design, which I love. So I think that's amazing that that's happened. But yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it. And I think people are going to get so much value just from seeing what people are creating out there. So well done, everyone who created those solutions. Really, a job really well done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cass, what were your key takeaways?
Just really, really good. I loved the marketing concept. That we're thinking outside of the box from a SCORM solution. What I will say is, if you've liked this episode, make sure you tune into the other ones as well. We have got some great solutions out there. So definitely it's got me thinking a lot about the way that I'm going to come up with solutions in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Well, big love to all the participants of this episode. Thank you so much to those that got your submissions in on time. Thank you for inspiring the industry, because you will have sparked a lot of inspiration for how people approach solutions in their own practice. Big love also to you, Hannah Grennan, you amazing human. Thank you for being part of episode 1 and sharing your perspective and idea, and also adding value by being here. So we appreciate you being on. And Kath, how can people vote and get people to the Best Learning Designer Award?
Well, up on the right-hand corner of your screen, you are going to see a little eye. If you click on that, you will be able to choose your favorite entries. Very simple.
Nice. All right, everybody,
let's wrap this up.
Thank you so much for watching. Sorry, Kath.
No.
Cut you off. Thank you so much for watching. Share this episode. Make sure you vote. Like, get the word out. There's so much value in these episodes. There's so much more to come. Like, this is just the taste. Oh my goodness. Can't wait for the next episode.